Yo, what's cracking? What's cracking? It's Wednesday again, 9 o'clock. We in here. It's your man, Mr. Chocolate, otherwise known as Tyrone.
Thank you.
I switched on him this year, and then I got next to me the big homie Black Pearl.
Hey guys.
What's happening? And we got the doctor. I said the doctor's in the house, Dr. Roy Rain. And she a real one. She ain't no fake one like y'all. Dr. Dre's and fake doctors.
We have no problem with Dr. Dre.
But he ain't no real doctor. We got a real doctor.
That's directly from Tyrone's mouth, not us.
And tonight we got a special guest in the house. He goes by the name of B Love. What's going on, brother?
What's happening?
All right. So, man, it's June already. Summertime's cracking off.
Yes.
Man, school's almost over.
I'm like us down here.
I'm like this.
So.
Yeah, are y'all they still in school where y'all at?
Nah, meaning up north, those people, they're in school almost till the week before the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They be
they get
off
off like
till,
the 28th or the 29th of June.
They be off to like what's that? Labor Day.
After Labor Day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
But they also get more days off than we do down here because they celebrate Jewish holidays, Indian holidays, So.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they get Malcolm X's birthday off. I got in trouble for wearing a Malcolm X shirt down here. They were like, "Oh, you wore Malcolm X."
That made me wear the shirt, the glasses, and the pants the next day.
Like, what?
Wow.
Well, also up north, have you guys heard that because the wildfires in Canada that they are walking around in full smoke?
Oh yeah, they
have to wear masks and stuff because of wildfires. So
oh wow.
Yeah, I seen a picture in New York and it was
really bad.
Looking post-apocalyptic up there. So I don't know. They smoking good up there.
Well, not the day or the hour.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, but yeah,
well, it's cold around these parts. That's why I got this big ass sweatshirt on, and I'm gonna show you. Look, I got my hospital socks on.
Oh man,
underdressed for the look. Got my whole and my tata, my chi-chis, and you over here with socks and a sweatshirt.
There, it's a whole different climate over here.
Hey,
oh my God, bless.
I don't know what y'all got going on. Okay.
But anyway, so Royal, why are we here today, Royal?
Yo, okay. So today we are here, and I'm gonna allow our guest to introduce himself to everybody, but. Recently, I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about divorce and life after divorce, struggles of divorce, and going through the process. And the topic of if you get married again, or even if you're at this point, you're entering a marriage, should you have a prenup? So all of that whole dialogue and those questions started popping off in my head. And I was like, yo, this will be a dope conversation to have with the Experience family. So
we've been there before.
And I was about to say, and for me personally, I've been divorced twice. Yes, I am proud of it. I sure am. I wear it with a badge of honor, just like this Maryland sweatshirt. Ain't no shame in my game. It is what it is.
Good. I have been not twice, but I've been divorced also. So.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, there are different reasonings. Reasons. There are different reasons why. Look, this is a serious topic. I'm trying to lighten it up for a moment, and then because it's gonna get hot in a minute. Trust me. But
then I'm dressed for it. You're not.
Right. But for real, like, people, there are different reasons why people make the choice to get a divorce, and we know that within our population group, the African American population group, we have a very high divorce rate. And so, with that being said, as an introduction, I would like to open up the dialogue to have our special guest, B-Love, in the house, introduce himself and share a little bit about him as he feels comfortable, and do your thing, man. You got the mic.
So yeah, man. Formerly known as B-Love, I got to get back in that era right now, but originally from North Carolina, then moved a whole lot of places for work. Currently in the kind of big state of Kentucky. So I'm on Central Time right now. Like I'm still sitting in daylight right now, So but other than that, man, I just keep things low key. Real chill, laid back brother. I think I posted something on Facebook the other day, man. Look, I'm just trying to stay sucker free in a world full of lollipops right now. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, I'm just out here just trying to cool out, man. Focus on my money and rebuild and do what I got to do.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been divorced, I assume.
Yeah, 2 times, same woman.
Wait. Time out.
A rematch?
Time out.
You never give a rematch.
There we go.
No.
No. I hit the timeout button. Did you just say, in English words, that you divorced the same person twice?
Yes, ma'am.
On purpose?
You exercise the rematch clause?
Lifing out here. That's the best way I can put it.
So what happened? Like, how'd you get a rematch?
See, I don't want to go that far yet.
Litigation. Oh, it must be fresh.
Can I start? You put the gas in me with that. Wait a minute.
It must be fresh. I don't know.
So the first time we could just, and then we'll slow down. I just want to speed up. So the first time you both chose to get divorced, what was the foundation of why y'all got divorced?
Levels of infidelity.
Okay. And then when you decided to get married, it was because remarried, you guys decided, okay, we can move past this.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, no different than current day. I think both of us went out, got out there in the streets and saw, the streets weren't where it was at. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like we didn't really have a bad thing. And at that point, we did have a young daughter together. So, just try to put things back together. See
When
what
the
we
family
do.
together. Okay, I can feel
so that what you discovered the first time you got married was not, the second time you got married was not strong enough to stop y'all from getting divorced this time.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
I'm done with my questions. Move on.
Okay. Man, that's fascinating, man. I don't see that a lot. I don't see a lot of rematches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're not a pillar of salt for looking back. I'm glad.
I never gave rematches. It was a wrap.
And I mean, it's the bigger story too. I mean, we were high school sweethearts and all that good stuff. Like, I guess we live.
I understand. I just thought that if it was enough fire to say let's try, that'd be enough fire to go, look, we didn't like what we saw the last time. Let us humble ourselves to try. But that was all the get. I told you I was going to speed up and then just pause. So go ahead, Royal. Go ahead.
No, so I think that when again, there are different reasons. Like case in point, I can be transparent. My first marriage was one that, even though I was 18, I was very mature mentally. Was raised that when you turn 18, you either go to college or you go to work. Either way, you get out the house. Like that's just how I was raised.
You got married at 18? You got married?
Absolutely. I wanted to get married at 17.
I was 20 the first time.
You were how old?
20.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to like I say, just the upbringing that we had wherein we did actually for a while have a nuclear family, you know, mother and father in the home, and then things went left, if you will. And so my mom became a single parent in a matter of words. Okay. Because my dad, and because we just had this episode last week about single parenting, right?
Yeah, we had that little
Your
debate.
mother was the in-house.
She was the primary custodian. That's correct.
She had full custody.
No. It was she was the primary custodian,
Right.
but no, she was the primary custodian. But my dad was relatively, honestly, active with us. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, for me, when I got married, it was okay. I need you, sir, who is 25, to grow up, because I'm more mature minded and I know how to operate and maneuver in this world better than you do. Long story short, we just grew apart. We just grew apart. And so unfortunately, I did my own divorce. And 3 days later, after I got divorced, I got remarried. That was the stupidest.
To a different person.
To a whole different person.
Oh,
hold on. So you got divorced, and 3 days later you got married.
Yeah.
What in the Tyler Perry is going on here?
So my first marriage, we lived together as husband and wife for about a year and a half, maybe. Year and a half, maybe. And so it wasn't like an instant wham bam, like, and it was no infidelity per se going on. Like, that's not what, like I said, that's not why we divorced. It was just, we just went different ways. So there was a period of time, Tyrone, to your thought process, because you over there trying to do the math. You like, what in the hell?
I'm doing math.
No, I understand.
It was Resurrection Sunday in my head, so please explain.
No. But it was a break of time, you know, because in the state of North Carolina, you know, you have to wait anyway.
Separate a year.
That's right.
So you're saying legally?
Yeah, legally. Yeah, seriously. So
yeah,
but legally, once that paper hit the clerk, 3 days later, I was in somebody's justice of peace getting married for the second time.
So it didn't overlap with the other. So
no.
It was during the separation.
No, yeah, we were already separated.
She's saying that legally, the time she had to be separated before she can legally be divorced is when she was building with this other person.
Oh,
so they were just waiting for the legalities to tie up so that they can move on. But so here's my question. So nothing from what happened in the first marriage made you kind of put the yield sign on the second marriage?
Because because I love love. I do. I love, and I have a strong belief in the marriage institution of marriage.
Me too.
I really do. And so my ex-husband, aka my baby daddy, he's still my boo. Like, we still talk, you know, not like all the time, but I'll call, we're cordial. We communicate with each other when we need to communicate with each other, you know, type of thing. Now my second marriage was filled with domestic violence. We actually were only together for about 6 months out of that whole entire 3 years of marriage.
Damn, what was y'all doing?
He was whooping my ass.
So y'all was living other places, like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get okay.
Yeah. So because of that, like, that took a little while longer to completely dissolve. But again,
the first one was how long? Sorry, I apologize. First
one was approximately a year and a half.
And then the second one was 6 months.
Yeah.
And so then y'all were, after 6 months, y'all weren't messing with each other, but y'all just didn't get a divorce for a little while.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, I see people like they be apart, but they don't be getting the official paper.
So B-Love, the first time you married this person, how long were you married?
3 years first time.
Okay, then y'all got divorced, and then how long in between the first marriage and then remarriage?
3 years.
I like the number 3. Okay, and then the second time, 3 is my number. What's the second?
12 years.
Okay. That
Mm.
makes sense. Okay. I'm not with, my numbers are quite different than yours. I'm just like, wow. So I obviously, and I've been honest, never remarried.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not never because I'm anti-marriage, just didn't. Got married, I think I was like 22, something like that. I had already had a baby. Well, actually, already had 2, so I might have been 23 for my husband. We got married. We were married for a father in the name. It had to be more than 10 years. It had to easily more than 10 years, but maybe not my high school sweetheart, but my first love, my first boyfriend, my first, all those first be like pew pew in your head, pom 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 pom, right? But when I did get divorced, I guess I've been divorced long enough that I won't get in trouble for this. I didn't even separate. I sent that bad boy to his grandmother's house, went, picked it up, signed it, went up to the people, and they're like, we got something next week. I was like, boop, I was divorced, done.
What state did y'all get divorced in?
Right here in good old North Kakalaki.
Oh, okay. So you did a year separation too then, right?
No, I had no separation.
I thought
did you hear what I said?
For a year.
Yeah, you do have to.
Oh, okay.
But the good Lord obviously was like, you have passed your expiration date. I'm a pull you some grace and favor, because I literally said, yes, we were separated, and sent the package to his grandmother's house. He was still in the house. Oh. Yes. That's how you know it's time to go. Because when I tell you favor, that thing got delivered to his grandmother's house. She signed for it. I brought it up to the courthouse, and they gave me a court date like the following week. If it wasn't the following week, it was 2 weeks.
Because he was officially served.
Because he was officially
served. You've been served. Got it.
So I'm gonna let you know, when God moves mountains like that for you, you don't go back. You don't go back. And so I didn't. So that's the difference. So, go ahead.
So let me. Did y'all do any of y'all do a divorce party? Because I've seen. I remember one time.
No.
One time, one of my partners hit me up. He was like, "Hey, we can go do this party," and I was like, "Okay." So he's like, "My homeboy's having a party." I was like, "All right, cool. Ooh, you cool? He must be cool too." I get there and they had like, "This is a divorce party." I had never heard of one before, and it was like it was weird. I left because it was creepy. It was a bunch of dudes all together, like celebrating.
This is a divorce party for a man.
Yeah, and then like.
No, they had no strippers. They had no drinks.
I was about to say, we didn't go to the strip club.
Absolutely, and this was the part. This was the part that a stripper came, and I was like, wait a minute, this ain't. I ain't like, I wasn't. Nah, this ain't for me. I was like, this party ain't for me. It was too much. It was a lot going on, and I was like, all right, bro.
So
get out of here.
You feel that? I guess it's different. I'm gonna ask both of y'all. Do you feel that there was a disadvantage to getting divorced? Like you lost more in the divorce than you gained in the marriage?
And I think I saw that when the post first came up about the show tonight. Like who benefited the most, men or the women, right? I think, first of all, I think everybody loses. Everybody loses in a sense. And I can't really put one weight on one side or the other, because for the male side of it, like for me, like I'm looking at it like I'm financially losing. I'm losing quality time with, my kids, or, that FaceTime with them or whatever that might be. But I'm sure on the other side, I can't speak for the woman's side, but I just feel like both sides lose in a sense. I guess I can just only speak for my side of it, but I think it's tough. I think it's tough either way, but it's definitely a setback. because trying to have that whole reboot, and I'm sure both sides got to go through that. Y'all starting back over, starting from scratch. This person take this amount of stuff, this person take this amount of stuff, and both of y'all starting back over. If one person is more of the breadwinner, to say in a sense, they might come out a little bit quicker. But either way, both sides lose.
Yeah, I ask because they say it's cheaper to keep her, and
it's cheaper to keep.
Yeah, there's a reason they say that. Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I think again, my perspective is it's a case by case.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying? Like neither one of my husbands had shit. So,
well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Right. So nobody lost anything per se in that sense. And I say that respectfully because if anything that they did lose, that I in retrospect would be the comfort of having a place of their own, because we had a place together. So when things went different ways, they went to wherever they went, back to their mama house, like they went wherever they went. I'm thinking about what you just said, Pearl, about your ex-husband. He was at his grandma. Like they went wherever they went. There was nothing that was actually lost. And as far as the kids were concerned, and I'm going to piggyback off of what B Love was just mentioning. If you are involved with your children and you're that type of father, then yeah, I think Bueno thought, yes, you are as a parent, you are losing, like you said, that FaceTime. But again, in my case, neither one of them were like neither one of them were active. Let me just cut the shit. Okay. Neither one of them was like super active or active at all in their life. So from that perspective,
that's different.
You know what I'm saying? It's different. So my perspective is it's a case by case situation. I think that it can be a situation where it is cheaper to keep her, but then, which is why I kind of don't like that saying, because even though it may be cheaper to keep her, but if you are completely freaking miserable, like you're walking around on eggshells every day, you got to deal with rah every day, you got to deal with a whole bunch of toxic bullshit.
I just go to work, bro.
But at some point you got to come home. And then
if you gotta do what you gotta do, you might have to leave and take the losses, go to work and make some more money, bro.
You understand? And that's what I'm saying. It's a case by case. Go ahead, Pearl.
In my case, I don't think financially it didn't. We didn't. I probably saved more money by getting a divorce than have. But I think the emotional strain after was real. Like
you said, after the divorce.
Yeah, it was real because it was. So here's the thing: one, still in the marriage mindset, right? Okay. And what I mean by that is, like B Love said, out in the streets, there was nothing in the streets for him. You know what I mean? There's nothing. Nothing. And that was before. So you can imagine what the streets are now.
Well, but that's something out there for you now.
But when you finish getting divorced, when you just get divorced, it's a different mind frame. Okay. Like I get some people do that mindset of the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. And that's that instant gratification. Trust me, it catches up with you, regardless if you realize it or not. But that's now the emotional part was just my ex-husband did the victim thing, like, oh, she did this and she did that. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You're tripping right now, right? And just after over 10 years of a certain mindset and certain emotional investment, right? It was a toll. It's a toll. It wasn't I'm just gonna get over it. Or I'm just gonna move on. It was a toll. It was, and I had promised myself I'm not going to get under someone to get over someone, because that's just too much drama, too much going on. So for me, it was the emotional toll, because for me, it was a lot of stuff. Like it was my first breakup. I've never broken up with, It was just like a bunch of stuff at one time, because you're talking about getting with someone when you're young. And now I'm in my 30s getting divorced after being with someone since a teenage Yeah, so that emotional, the grow up. The last time I was single, I was a teenager. I was 18. You know, it's just a lot of different things that I was experiencing. So for me, the financial wasn't it, it was the emotional part of it as well. So.
I know a thing. So I'm not divorced. Never been divorced. Don't hope to be. But I have.
Out there, if your wife is thinking about it.
Yeah. I hope not. But but I have seen plenty of them from like, and mostly from a guy standpoint, because you know it'd be like my friends and I was in the military. So things, my observations from learning from other people that I've seen, it looks like if a guys who have shit, like they get hit they always get hit financially. Always see the guy, he's got a house, he's got the family, gets divorced, he's in a little ass apartment. Afterwards, all fucked up and sad and pitiful. Like almost everybody I've seen.
Up and sad.
Yeah. Fucked up, sad, and pitiful, and all like messed up, and like it's just a big reset. And just my observation from what I've seen, nobody checks on the dude in a divorce like that I've seen. Like most everybody's like, oh, they're like, oh, so-and-so got divorced. Oh, what did he do? Did he cheat? And that'd be like the first thing people be saying. And like just the people I've seen. I'm not saying it's everybody.
And usually in the military, it's a woman that's cheating on him, but that's a whole other conversation.
So,
right.
Agreeing that divorce benefits women more than men.
Oh, absolutely. I would say absolutely.
Okay, you know, so you're saying
kind of like y'all said, I think it's case by case. It depends on what that financial structure looks like, how much y'all have acquired together, what y'all got going on. Like, yeah, if you ain't got shit, you ain't got shit. But if it's stuff there, that's when we got to get into that prenup conversation later on.
Absolutely.
I know most of the military guys, it was them taking care of somebody, like, and so they you know, so they got hit, and when they got divorced, it was like, bro, I'm down bad, I'm looking crazy out here. And then you get to be with your children every night, and then all of a sudden that gets ripped away, because most of the time they're going to give the kids to the woman, unless she's like,
which is the emotional toll. You're just like, where my kids? I used to see my kids at night. I'm used to coming home and a certain amount of peace. I know it could still be like craziness in the house, but a certain amount of peace because I see my kids. I sit down, I watch TV, drink a beer, whatever. That emotionally it messes your head up. Maybe I should say mentally mess your head up. You know, so did you guys experience any pettiness? Oh Lord, I feel like I just opened the door. Any pettiness? I'm sorry. I just was asking. You know what, Brian? You start, because you the fresh. You know, Royal is living that married life now. So
yeah, I've been blessed and highly favored. Thank you, husband. If you're watching.
It's definitely been levels of that there too. And at some point you just go to no contact. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm, unless it's got something to do with the kids, like keep all that negative, toxic stuff. Like I don't have nothing to do with none of that. You know what I'm saying? Don't even talk to me unless it's got something to do with the kids.
So I'm sorry, go ahead, Royal.
No, I was going to say, like, even with my second husband, and Tyrone had mentioned, like, it was domestic violence heavy, and I had a DVPO, a domestic violence protective order. I had a DVPO in place. And to your point earlier, you was like, why would you take somebody back? Shout out to Mr. Gray. But the thing is, to what you said, again, even though things were wicked and very ugly, I allowed him to come back in one last time. I don't know why I did that, because he was gone. And I called him back. I don't even know. But at any rate, when he came back, and again, like I said, his DVPO was still in effect. Literally, he told me that he was just waiting after a night of some stuff that went down. He told me he was just waiting for that January to hit when that DVPO expired, and he was going to take my son.
Oh, wow.
Even though he couldn't take care of himself for shit. So I don't know how he thought he was going to take care of a kid, a baby. Well, he was, young at the time. But at any rate, that was his plan. And to your point, Pearl, like God intervened and made some things shake loose. And so to your point again, Tyrone, going back to you, once he was completely removed that last time, I said, all right, God, I got it. We're not ever gonna do this again.
Oh yeah, especially,
you know what I'm saying, right? So like, as far as being petty, to your question, Pearl, yeah, it was some pettiness because he had his own ulterior motive for coming back in that didn't have nothing to do with trying to resolve and make things right.
I know sometimes men say they're gonna take kids and they don't want to do that. They just want to mess with the well, I know they like try to get you shook up. They don't want the damn kid. They wouldn't take the kid if you asked them to, but they'll say, I'm gonna take the kid. They don't mean that shit. I know first I've seen dudes be like that. Like, you don't want that kid.
But I would say at this stage in my life, if somebody shouted you out, B-Love. At this stage in my life, if my husband and I got divorced, and to B's point, and I have property, I have assets, trust and believe, if I ventured out here in this lovely world and get booed up again, you signing a prenup. And if you ain't willing to sign a prenup, then ain't no love, peace, and God bless.
So are you saying the prenup because we are finding that people want to leave with more than they came in with?
In some cases, but you ain't gonna do it on my dime. I promise you that. Not today, tomorrow, or ever.
I think that, okay, so we've all been divorced. Probably the most recent divorce, if I'm correct, is B-Love.
Not all of us.
Sorry. Sorry. Everyone except Mr. Chocolate has been divorced on this panel.
Some of these people don't know me. You know, they don't want to.
My question is, do you feel that maybe you were in a more give than take situation from before? It's just the divorce kind of shined a light on that type of the imbalance.
That's a good question.
It definitely became about money. It's like, yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay. I said that because there were red flags, that were just, I love this person, right? And then when I got divorced, it was like, I was there the whole time.
I see the real person, right? Yeah, it's been sitting there the whole
time. So what would you say is the hardest part of the divorce process? Minus Mr. Chocolate.
Yeah, I told you mine was easy peasy. Like when I'm done, I'm done. Yeah. Like it's a wrap.
I would say it's just the back and forth. And again, it's a case by case situation. Like I think when some people done, it's simple. Like, hey, we just gonna cut ties and go our own way. But then in some situations, like you just got a whole bunch of back and forth, and then legal fees start getting all expensive, and it just gets overbearing. Well, I won't even say overbearing, but it's just frustrating, just going back and forth with somebody. Hence the prenup again. Like, let's just have this documented. If you come in with a bag, you leaving with that damn bag you came in with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just gonna call it what we're gonna call it.
You say you're gonna pour that Orange Juice Jones walking in the rain. You take them crumb cakes and that Alley Cat coat that I saw you with.
Get on out of here. Married again, you do a prenup. Is that what you're saying?
It would definitely be a conversation. It would definitely be a conversation. Because I'm definitely not afraid to get married again.
Okay.
I'm a big lover too. You know what I'm saying? So like that part of it don't fear me at all. But that would definitely be a conversation piece.
I know when I talk to young guys, a lot of times it always comes up. They're like, I don't see how it was worth it for me to get married. That they always say how it was just too big a risk for a young man, for a man. They're like, I don't know. I hear that a lot, like the risk of having your stuff taken and family split up, and they just a lot of them just don't see the value in it. That's why we see a lot of people not wanting to get married now. And plus, all you hear now is like 50% divorce and all that. So a lot of younger people are kind of apprehensive about it these days. Where before it's more traditional, that's what you did. Now it's like people are real nervous about that thing.
Wait, let me interrupt you. Who? We don't see your name, Facebook user.
I had to see your name, Facebook user. And the thing is too, in regards to what you just mentioned, Tyrone, like, and again, because we've had this conversation on the show about the fact, like, it's wild out here in these streets. I ain't even in the streets, but I know, because I'm somewhat in tune with the streets. I don't want no parts of these streets. It's too much going on. It's just too much. And the thing is, as a single person, and I'm very much married, have been going, 20 years strong. But the thing is, people play too many games. Like and again, I'm not in these streets, but I'm in touch with the streets. I don't have time for this foolishness. Oh, okay. She good. I don't have time for this foolishness. I don't have time for the games. Like, because at this point, like, I think once you get to a certain point in your life, and I'm gonna say respectively, once you hit that 40+ club, can we just be transparent? Can we just have adult conversation? Can we just act like we got some John Brown sense?
But there are people who show you their representative because there's no depth to them. And so some people get caught up in that. I think my issue with divorce is sometimes people get divorced just because they're like, I'm bored, I'm gone, boop, without realizing
the honeymoon is gone, and they don't want to deal with the struggle.
They don't want to deal with the struggle. But the thing is, who told us marriage was easy? Marriage is work. Like, it is a verb. It is an action verb. It is an active thing. It's a today. I don't want to be bothered with you, but I still choose to stay here. Now, there's other people that just get hyped up on what they think is in the streets, and they go to the streets on your dime. And that for me, I'm not down with that. Then you shouldn't have gotten married to begin with. Period.
Yeah, and people think it's going to be that fantasy, that that lust stuff, and it's going to be that way all the time. And
sometimes I'm not going to want to touch you. Sometimes, let's be 100. Sometimes I'm not going to want to touch you. Sometimes I'm going to be pissed off at work, and I'm going to come home and you're going to piss me off some more. But that is not, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like some people get into marriage already trying to figure out an exit plan. They may not admit it, right? But that's where they're at. Just like we've talked about this on the show before. That's the difference between lust and love. Lust starts fast. It's exciting. We doing it. We doing all this stuff. We fight. We make up. Oh, yeah. But that usually doesn't last in marriage. Because marriage is when you slow that bad boy down and it's time to work to keep that thing that brought us together. Again, I'm saying to you that I feel that some people get into marriage already with an exit plan. That is why I feel like things are so 50% of marriage is this and 50% of marriage is that, because the thought of marriage is to build and to get to know people and to understand that, hey, the hard times don't mean the end. But some people get in and they're like, what? Oh, he lost his job. I can't do this. I'm out.
Out of there.
Right? Oh, the kids are sick. I'm out. I can't do this. This is too much for me. Or what? You're telling me I need to do better for myself. I'm comfortable where I'm at. No, I'm out. Oh, she gained 10 pounds having my kids. I'm out. That's not how that goes.
It is not.
If that's the case, do you know people wouldn't even stay in a house? People wouldn't even stay in a car, and that's less commitment than marriage.
Right.
You don't promise your life to nobody else on the face of this planet. A mother does not promise her life to her child. Keep that straight. But you do promise your life to your partner. Yeah. You take a vow to your partner. The only other thing people take a vow to is when a priest or a pastor become that thing. That's I'm like, so maybe we just don't understand the severity of what we're promising to, but the thought of getting married to already have an exit plan, you already building for failure. That you're already building for failure. So
would you say you disagree with prenups then?
I say I'm on the line with prenups. I'm on the line with. I'm just being honest because I used to. If you asked me 3 years ago, I'd be like, nah, I'm not down with prenups.
It's gotta be awkward as hell though, right? Like you know, yeah.
What to bring it up?
I guess it depends on how you see it. I think some people feel like it's like planning to fail, but really marriage is a business arrangement, in a big way too. You know, so you know, I guess it depends on how you're seeing it. But then too, if you ain't got shit, a lot of times I hear people talk about that, but they ain't got nothing. And like, bro, you ain't got nothing.
And I think that to your point, Pearl, when you brought up about, you know, relationships and entering into a marriage, again, if how can I put this? If you're coming into it genuinely, right? If you're my dude, if you're my man, and I'm not feeling certain things. And again, that's why I'm saying it goes back to being transparent. You have to be able to be transparent and honest about how you feel. And I dare go as far as to say, if somebody can't handle your perspective on certain things, from a genuine standpoint, if we're talking about finances, let me give an example because people's thought processes can go a whole lot of different places. If we're having a conversation about finances, and maybe I'm very business smart, right? And I'm like, when it comes to the finances, I think we should put this amount aside, right? And on the other hand, that other person is saying, well, no, because I think we need to spend it doing this and buy me this and you do this. If it's all about me, we got a problem. Yeah, and at this point, at this point, that's when you need to be in a position to be able to have a transparent conversation. And if that person isn't able to handle that transparency, then to me, that's a red flag too.
Yeah, but
you see what I'm saying?
Communication.
Communication is the key.
The thing about it is, if you can't talk about that, how many other things are not being addressed and just building and building and building, right? Because there's only so much you could sweep under the rug without it turning into a mountain. I think I see relationships and marriages where it's like, oh, my wife is sick, I got her. My wife is having financial problems, I got her. My wife needs this, I got her. Oh shoot, I'm going through this bad time. You better get your shit together. I can't do this.
Right.
And that for me is disheartening, because usually, you know, we hear, well, you know, there's no good men out there, blah, blah, blah. Those good men are, you know, like shadowed with from the get your shit together, but my shit was together helping you. You get what I'm saying? So I think, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen to women. I'm just telling you some of the things that I'm seeing. Yeah, it does happen to women also. So,
and I think even to that point, like if you are sacrificing, and I use that term loosely, but if you are sacrificing your time, your energy, and again, it's for the greater good, then that's one thing. But if you're sacrificing your time and your energy for your own selfish gain, and what I mean by that is, I really don't want to be fucking here, but I need to be here.
Well,
You understand what I'm saying?
benefits me. That's why
Correct.
I don't.
But in those situations, again, that's where a breakdown is happening.
Mm.
So don't
But
blame
usually
the other person. Go ahead.
Doesn't see that. Usually, let me tell you something.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
You know what a giver does?
Hmm.
He or she gives.
They give, right?
And when you're in those situations, that giver is giving and giving. And guess what? Wherever there's a giver, there's a taker.
Mm-hmm.
And that taker takes. You don't see that because the giver's like, I'm going to give my 100%. Oh, wait, I found another 1%. I'm giving 101%. You know what I mean? 101%. Because you're committed to giving. But sometimes from what you're describing, you're so in that mode of giving and that person's so in that mode of taking, you don't realize that you are creating a codependency that is working against you.
Got you.
That's what
sometimes you have fake givers too.
Right, exactly.
Those people that give and do things for you, and the whole time they taking score and trying to.
Are they giving or are they building enough to manipulate you?
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it looks like giving, but it's really manipulation. It's like, look what I do for you. You don't. I do this and I do that. You don't.
Manipulation looks like love too, and you don't figure that out till you're getting divorced. That's what it is. You don't figure that out till you get divorced. You're like, dang, I've been bamboozled the whole time.
Goddamn bamboozled.
I'm bamboozled and hoodwinked. And you signing that paper. And I said this on our show on Sunday. You know, like the process of love is I'm giving and you're giving, and we're creating this circle of giving. But for a giver, you get so enthralled in giving and not really realizing you're not receiving because you're finding that gratification in giving that it's not till you get divorced you feel like there's like sucker written across your forehead.
Well, that's why B Love said, what you say? You trying to be sucker free in a
world full of lollipops.
I love it. Lollipop world out here now.
That's how you got to stay.
So
because I think even being out there these days, and like don't nobody see me. Like everybody be like, man, where you be when you ain't at work? First of all, I'm a workaholic. Like anybody that know me, like I work. It keep my mind idle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see that a lot with guys who get divorced, man. They tend to do that. Like just
like I don't like just downtime because then my head start going. You know what I'm saying? But like man, everybody's got sometimes, and like whether it's a red flag or whatever. Like you said, I mean, you get out there, you start talking and stuff like that. Show one red flag right now. Like whether it's bad communication, whether it's respect, whatever it might be. Like, oh, people cut off game is strong these days. Like it's over. It's a wrap. Like you don't hear from them no more. Like, so it's I don't know. It's just strange. Like I mean, the whole environment of the world today is strange.
So how do you move on from divorce? Wait, let me rephrase that. How do you properly move from divorce? Like, what would you say is a healthy? Because again, you're going through, I have been through, Royal has been through. What is that move forward where, where's that move forward? Where's that don't take the person back either? Because I went through that too, like, oh, we have kids. And I was like,
right.
Do I want to these things, so how do you move forward?
So one is definitely no spinning the block. So that's out of the question.
B Love is like lesson learned, check.
yeah, lesson learned. And it was a hard one, but it was lesson learned. But I just started to focus on me. I mean, I did have some real downtime and, thought about a whole lot, kind of went through my motions. But then I just started to focus on me, got back in the church, start praying every night, and when my queen come back around, she gonna come back around, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Facts.
I like what Didi said. Didi said live, because some people be wanting not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's for me, because I know Roy's gonna say I was done, so I cut him off. I can never ask you about these things because yours are just so black.
No, but I actually have a piece to there. Go ahead.
Give me your piece. Go ahead. Give me your piece.
So what I was going to say is a part of my journey was going through counseling Because even though my cutoff game was my cutoff game,
and still is,
and still is, but and during that time in my younger years, I would use the power of P. It was strong.
Oh boy.
I'm just being honest.
She's being
All right,
being honest.
be
And
honest.
so that kind of helped me get through a little something. But then, like I said, I started, kind of following what B Love said. I got to a point where I was just tired of that too. Because a lot of it was trash. But that's neither here nor there. It ain't got nothing to do with the conversation. But
did you just call it trash?
It was garbage. It was one solid, and but anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But what I'm saying is, during that period of time, I truly took time to get counseling. I did get back into faith, and all I did was devote my time between work, my kids, and at that point in time, I was in school, completing my education. Everything that I did had to do with me and rebuilding me and getting rid of a lot of bad mindsets or bad habits, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to do a complete detox and get all that poop, spiritual poop out of my system. You know what I'm saying? And when I started doing that, to God be the glory, because, and I ain't trying to get all spiritual on y'all, but like for real, when I did that and I prayed for someone specifically, 6 months later, my husband that is sitting upstairs came through.
Nice.
You ain't had no problem getting them, boy.
She showed, didn't it?
She ain't had no problem out there.
Just like that.
She hit the streets. It was like, come here.
I think it whispered to him in the night.
Y'all stupid.
Well, I think the part that for me, for divorce, right? I think for me, I did focus on myself, focus on healing, because different mindset. And sometimes you don't realize, I think you said it perfectly, even though I giggled, was getting all that spiritual poop out of you, like all of that tar, that gathered in your mind and your emotions, like that. I think what people don't talk about, though, is after you heal and how red flags are like neon red flags to eating people.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Like nobody talks about that part, that after you heal, you can identify all the unhealing. So you go out to the streets and you be like, nah, oh, there goes Joker right there. Oh,
it gives you you get a superpower.
You get a superpower for those people who aren't healed. Nobody talks about how with healing, you can be 5 steps ahead and then just one thing happens and you take about 3 steps back. So I think the process is not overnight.
Right. Not at all. It takes years, depending on how ingrained it is in you.
And trying to understand what is it about that person that attracted you. Because here's the thing. Sometimes we go chasing something that looks like, you're like, okay, I was with this chocolate daddy. Ooh, now I'm going to go get a light-skinned one. Well, that light-skinned one can have the same qualities that the one who it just in a different packaging. So for me, it was a lot of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, then 2 more steps forward and 1 step back. But my focus was, I want to say I jumped into church because it was church that helped me get out. It was, let me rephrase that. It was my faith that helped me get out. Right. But because here's another thing, in the church is what made me stay longer. So it wasn't the church that helped me afterwards, so to speak.
Because in the church, we are taught that you're supposed to stay together.
Yes.
Through hell and back.
Every right from the Bible to be.
But not taking no butt whoopings, though.
Well, the Bible said if he cheat, be out, right? So I remember after so many, you need to do this. I'd be like, look, what does it say right here? Because I can't do it no more. But the point that I'm making is I had to go through the why didn't my prayers work? Why, when my fasting and all that stuff, it didn't work?
Because you're still holding on to the poop.
To hold exactly. And so I had to go, stop asking. It happened. And I'm gonna be honest with you, all of that pain had a purpose, because at the end of it, it was me. It was me. I was there at the end of it, like, hey honey, where you been? You know, to myself, because it wasn't, but it was a process. It was a process. Now, do I have superpowers to see red flags? Unfortunately, yes. But I've learned to turn that down a little bit. But yeah, it's.
Well, I got a question for y'all.
Oh, well, ask away, brother.
So do you feel like your dating value like went down after you got divorced? Like, especially
down.
So, because a lot of times,
what you mean by that, baby? I'm sorry.
No, so a lot of times people talk about like single mothers or divorced women, like the value.
You get a season out here, bro.
Yeah. So I hear that conversation on the internet sometimes. So, you know, since we're having the conversation, about do you feel like that was a thing, or that's like bullshit?
In my opinion, I think it's kind of bullshit. I mean, you know what you're getting into at this point, you know,
right.
Especially at our age. Like, if you ain't got no kids, like, then that's gonna be a red flag. Like, why ain't this person, you know, like, what's been going on? It might be some trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, why ain't this person got nothing going on? But no, I mean, I think you already kind of expect that. It's just kind of like, you know how much you want to be able to handle. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you have 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids? Like, how deep do you want to go? That's going
a lot of kids there, bro.
I know, because I know a lot of times with men, sometimes it seems different, because a lot of times men, well, it seems like men tend to, when they get older, they date younger women a lot of times, if they got money, if they can afford to, you know, and a lot of times women, unless it's like a celebrity, but you don't see like the average woman dating a younger dude a lot of times. So they kind of, I don't know. This is what do y'all think about that? I don't know. Because I ain't in this situation.
I have limitations. I have a I got a 5 to 7 year age limitation. If you are 10 years my senior, and I say this respectfully, and again, I love my husband. I need you to stay around, Lord. Let my husband stay. But what I'm saying is, no, I'm so sincere, because sometimes when you say what you won't do, that's what you end up doing, right? So what I'm saying is, for right now, my standard is, and has been, 5 to 7 years is my window. If you are 10 years my senior, I don't want no parts of you, because you're a little too old for me. Right. And not to be again, which I've already said this earlier, I have a strong desire. I have fire and desire. I need somebody that's going to be able to hang with me just for a little while. Carry this mule, okay? Huck a bucket. I need you to do what you got to do.
You say huck a bucket?
Huck a buck. I need.
Oh Lord,
you understand? But like that's for me. So and going down younger is a definite, and has always been, even when I was in my 20s. I mean, well, I say 20s, you can't get too much younger, but what I'm saying is, I never dated anybody younger than me. And the one time that I did, that fool pulled a gun out on me, but that's a whole other conversation too. So I don't date.
Another episode.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode. So I don't date ever anybody younger than me. 5 to 7 years. What you got, B-Love and Pearl?
I definitely got a cap going below. I can go with you on that 5 to 7.
5 to 7 above or 5 to 7 below, or either way?
Either way. Okay. I can go with it either way. Because like at some point, if I go too low, I'm looking at it like my daughter just graduated from high school.
You messing with a kid.
Yeah. So if I go too low, if I go into some 20s, then I'm like, I'm dating my daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It don't feel right. So it's just my take.
I think I'm with you.
That always seem weird to me. Like like you dating people who call you sir. Like it's just I don't know, but guys do. I see a lot of
God bless
they'll
them.
go down, but
I agree with the 5 to 7. I tend to attract younger men, but 5 to 7. Not doing the 20s at all. I've had guys in their 20s come up to me and I'm like, this person's for my daughter. What's going on? I can't do it. My daughter's in her, actually, she's about to be in her mid-20s. And there is I'm going to be real. Let me be real.
Be real.
I think physically they probably be able to take me to town and back, right? But I need more. I need the depth of conversation.
Right.
I need the, and then what I don't want, because I definitely know, is if a woman does not have respect for a man, you can't build on that. And I just see myself in my 20s. I would be talking to that, like, come here, baby, let me talk. And I don't mean baby love. I mean,
Right.
come here, baby.
yeah,
Like licking my thumb, like,
Get the crust off of them.
but those relationships always seem so awkward to me when I see them. No judgment or anything, because you do what you do. I just be like it just seems like weird. Because having children ruins it too. Because like when you see, like I see young girls that my daughter's getting up there now. I'm like, oh, where your clothes at? Come on, yo, where your dad at? Yo,
yeah,
what's going on?
And in your 20s, wouldn't you want me to give you kids? I'm not,
And I was about to say,
even procreate still, but not with like you're tripping, right?
Right. And even if being that all of us up here have children, you got to be careful about who you bring in around your kids. Like that's a whole other conversation too. But
it's a movie. Stop playing.
No. But in the context of tonight's show, when we're talking about divorce and the struggles and the challenges, yeah, that's one of them. You got to bear in mind. B Love was mentioning earlier. About children. Everybody has a certain threshold about how many kids they're willing to take on if the woman has so many children and things of this sort. But the thing is, on the flip side, again, because people got issues. I don't even know how to nicely say it. There are so many pedophile people out here. There are so many just downright demonic people in this world that go out because when they can't have their way with you, that they hurt your child. Like we see this in the news all the time. Where the boyfriend then killed the baby or whatever. Listen.
No.
So yeah, and then too, when you are super young, how much can you really, if I'm 10, 15, 20 years your senior,
yeah, what can you bring?
What can you really bring other than sex?
Guess you just gotta find
out. I'll wait.
I mean, like seriously. And so when you was talking about, come here, baby, Pearl, a few moments ago, I get it, because and that's why I have my threshold, because I don't want to be dating somebody that's my daddy age. Like that's nasty. I don't want to imagine myself having sex with my daddy. I love my daddy to pieces, but no, that's gross.
You just said they bring you peace.
Yeah, what'd you say, boo?
Young boy said he'll bring you peace.
No, you better piece me still on somewhere else.
Piece me still. Well, we went over our hour, guys. So I know we usually do wonderful final words. So Be Love, do you have any final words for our experienced family about divorce?
We've talked about transparency a whole lot, and I definitely am a full believer of that. Transparency, respect, and be patient. Love is still out there, just don't trade that 80-20. I think right now everybody's looking for a come up, looking for the next best thing. Just be patient, and the right person to come to you. You ain't got to look for them.
Nice. Okay, Royal, come on, honey.
The only thing I have to say is simply, in your prayers, be specific about the healing that you desire in your life and the blessing that you want to be presented before you. That's it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'll go because I know Tyrone ain't got no divorce.
Yeah, I got final thoughts though. I got final.
Okay.
Go ahead, though. You good? Go ahead.
I think my final thought is our original question was life after divorce, and there's definitely life after divorce. You know, the saying is two becomes one, right? But in actuality, you have to work on that one at all times, right? It may feel like you're losing yourself or have lost yourself. It's a perfect opportunity to do a 2.0 or a 3.0 if you've been divorced more than twice version of yourself, because in order to get better, we have to be better, right? Know better, do better too. So I think life after divorce is really just coming back to the foundation of what you want first. Royal said something a couple of episodes ago on the Lady Show about marrying herself. And for me, what that represented was you said, I am worthy, I'm enough, and I accept me as I am in that process. And I think a lot of us forget to do that before we move on. Right. So life after divorce is reminding yourself that you are enough and that you're worthy. And then the rest will fall into place. That's my final words. Go ahead, Mr. Chocolate.
Yeah, so my final words on divorce. I plan to not do it. Right? And so I want to put it out there. And but for real though, we see a lot of stats and a lot of numbers, and the people who are thinking about getting married. I had a young man, I was conversation with him. He was asking about getting married, saw my ring, and he said, should I do it? And he had all these worries and stuff from outside. I said, look, man, you're a man. If you don't want nobody to be with her, then you just gotta go ahead and do it. And don't worry about the world and everybody else and the numbers. Don't take advice from people who don't know what they're talking about. Live your life, go for it. So don't let the negativity, get you. That's what the people who haven't gotten married are thinking about it. That's where I'm coming from, because I ain't divorced. So, and
I was like, I'm not doing it.
I'm not.
All right, take us out, Tyrone.
All right. So make sure you guys, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, you are wrong. You did wrong. You're sitting here watching the show and you're wrong. All right. If you're not a part of the group, you just sit here wrong. Make sure you get right. Go ahead and subscribe, join the group, do the right thing. Because then you can get all these alerts. And when you see us again, you'll know when everything's popping up. It's going to be all good. And if you subscribe, click that bell for notifications.
Right.
All right. And you'll get all the lives, all the videos, all this love we give y'all. All right. So you've been a part of the experience. With experience, it's always good. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.